this morning to attend our webinar. We won't be quite half an hour this morning. I think hopefully we will be proving through the demonstration later on how quickly that you can integrate your systems together and reduce the time taken on manual preparation instead. My name is Stephanie Davis and Sharon Foley will be joining me for the demonstration. So just a quick note on the agenda. Okay, what we do is we'll just give you a quick overview of how Pimbrook came about for anybody who is unfamiliar with us as a company. Just want to run through some client testimonials, terms that people have used around our services. We will look at the payroll demonstration and there'll be a Q&A at the end. We will have the chat box live once we're finished the demonstration. So if you have any questions, please feel free to run through those with us. And we'll leave you our contact details so that if there's anything post the webinar, please feel free to come back to us. We will be, so Pimbrook has come about. We're the Sage 50 and Payroll Irish Partner of the Year, and we've been very lucky, along with hard work, for the last 3 years achieving that, that accolade there. How Pimbrook came about was Pims and Brook joined together, and we had a commitment to exceptional customer service, and this is one of the things that I shared with Nigel, trying to put customers to the forefront and ensuring that we could serve them. We've got over 17 years experience and we've got 1,000 customers or more through this partnership. We specialise in Sage 50 and Sage Payroll, and we're going to be using those products there through our demonstration. So we have a great team here. We're building, we're going from strength to strength, and hopefully you'll get that experience. We're based in Dublin and Waterford, so we certainly got the reach out there. So what are our clients saying? Well, first of all, we're very privileged to be able to service the brand names that you see on the screen there, but to be associated with professional, efficient, committed, best company. These are something that we do strive every day to achieve, and the team here are going through training all the time to ensure that we keep up with the standards that are available. And there's just another couple of them: the product knowledge and the customer care. So we try to achieve that every single day. So hopefully you'll get to see that. So integrating your payroll. Now we will be talking about a time recording or clocking system. That's not something we supply, but we do have a relationship with our partners on that. So, but anything that we do here should be available on other systems there. So we're going to use Sage Payroll, Sage 50, and a file there from a recording system. So I'm going to hand you over there to Sharon Foley, who is our expert, and will be able to run through the systems for you.
Hello, good morning. Sharon here. I'm sure I've dealt with some of you on support. I'm going to run through the clocking system first of all. Now I have a file created from a clocking system, just Timesheet Import, and it just gives me a list of all my employees with the hours, pay elements, so we can give you a breakdown of the file format that needs to be for importing, and we can go straight to your payroll. So that's the file that we're going to import into your payroll. So it's going to import the multi-timesheet, which is the multiple hours, so it'll split it by department and cost center. So first of all, I'm going to set the period on my payroll as I would for a new week. Okay, and go into enter time and pay. Now, normally you would go in by sequential and you select your employees one by one. This week, we're going to go in as an import. Multi-import is automatically selected because I'm doing a multi-timesheet import. And I will browse for my file, which I have saved. And I just have this saved into a folder on my desktop. You can save it anywhere if you want to save it onto your server or network external drive. So I'll select my timesheet import. And click on open and it'll pull through if I click on continue. So this has given me a list of all my employees who are on my import file. It has 12 employees on record, and it's giving me any warnings or alerts on the right hand side here. So these are just warnings that you may need to overlook if you haven't done any imports, tax credit imports or what have you, or if you've got minimum net pay selected on your payroll. So if you're happy with everything, you can click on Save in Timesheet. If you have any red alerts here, you will not be able to continue. You will need to address them, go back in, fix your payroll, and come back out to re-import your timesheets. So we're happy enough here. We can go in and we can click on Save Time and Pay, and that has saved my 12 records successfully. And I can click OK to continue. So that is my timesheet imported. You can still go back in to enter time and pay, randomly select an employee. You can go in and select an employee and enter any extra hours, expenses, anything you need to enter in here. Click on Save and it will add it to your timesheets that you have imported. Okay. So if we're happy with that, we can go in and continue with our reports as normal. So we print out all our payroll reports, post calculation results, and now I'm ready to do my nominal integration. So for my nominal integration, there's a bit of setup involved. That's all done through the Nominal Setup screen. So if we go to Nominal and Nominal Setup, and I can go through each screen and set up my nominal code, my nominal structure. And I just have a very straightforward one set up here today. So I have all my nominal codes in. So I'm happy enough, I'm going to go in and select the period that I want to create my nominal for. So if I go to Nominal and Report Create File, I can do it from period 3 to period 3. So here I can actually select where I save my file. So I can browse. And again, I'm just going to save that into where I have my nominal folder. And the type of format in this case is fixed format. You can do it in different formats for different accounting packages, but we have a file saved for Sage 50. I'm going to import into Sage 50 today. And so it's going to be a fixed format. So I can preview my report. I can see my journal, my list of nominal codes, my debits, my credits, and I'm happy that my journal balances. So if I'm happy with that report, I click on Close and I can go back to Create File. Okay, so this is just telling me where it's saving to. I have a file there already, so I'm going to overwrite that. I can click OK and continue. So that's my nominal file created, and that's ready to import into my accounts package. So if we go across to our accounts package and log in. Okay, so we can go straight into File and Import. So it's bringing me into a wizard, so I can import any Excel files, CSV files in here. I would always recommend that you take a backup before you do any import into your accounts package. So you can restore it if you're not happy or if you import it twice in error. So you have options to restore it back. You always take a backup. So in this case, I have one, so I'm going to continue on with my wizard. It's going to be an audit trail transaction report that we're going to import today. And will always be for the nominal integration. And we click on Next. And the type of file that I want to import is a CSV file, and I can browse for my file. I select the file that I've created and it pulls it through. And again, I can click on Next on my wizard. In this screen, it'll give you your mapped fields. This only has to be done once on setup, and it will default the fields the next time you go to do your import. If for any reason you want to, you can save the map. You can save it. So if you want to load it again for another PC, another location, you can just click on Load Map to pull it back up. So it's very easy to create a new map or move it from one place to another. Click on Next, it'll bring you in. It's just letting you know that you're ready to import your data. Okay, and all my fields have been mapped, and we click on Import. Okay, and that has successfully imported my journal. If for any reason there was any errors or warnings, it would give you a list underneath. You can then go back out, make your changes, and come back in and re-import it again. Okay, so you click on Close, and that is your import. So if we go into Transactions now, you can see your journal has imported for your payroll. And you can do that then on a weekly or a monthly basis. Okay, so that's straightforward enough for your nominal export import. So I'm going to move on to your advanced report writer for payroll. So your advanced report writer, it's going to be an icon. When you install your payroll, it will create an icon on your desktop, and this icon is called ARW. When you double click on it, you can log in exactly the same way as you would your payroll. So it's the same username, your same password. Your payroll ID will be exactly the same. And I'm just going to show you here. So if I go to log into a payroll, it's these details, except you need to type in the payroll ID exactly as it is. So if I minimize there, and my username and password will bring me in. Okay, so these are a few reports that I have designed already. So to create a new report, I'm going to go into Create Report. This will allow me create any new report from any tables that are available for the payroll. And you see there's quite a few tables there available. The most commonly used table is the employee payslip historic, and this will allow you run reports historically through the payroll. So I'm going to use the historic payslip today to show you how to run from a previous period. So I can click on New, which will give me a list of my available fields. And again, I'm just going to select a few fields here on the payroll. So you can scroll down, you can see a list of all the fields that are available. If I scroll down a bit further, you'll be able to see your pay elements. So I'll select a couple of pay elements, and again, you'll have a list of all your pay elements there that you're using. And again, we'll go down to deductions. Okay. So each of these fields can be then formatted. So you can click on Format, and it'll give you an option to rename each field. So I can just say this employee number. Okay, in this case, you have the name and you have your pay period. So under pay period, I'm going to click on Format, and I can put a filter on my pay period. So you have a list of filters that are available, and these filters are from the top are permanent filters. So they're going to be set on the report as you're running it, or you can do a runtime range. And this just means every time you're running the report, you can select a range that you want for the report. So you can put the filter on as you're running. So we'll change that there. Now, any pay element or deduction actually has a sub field. So you can see that I can't pull through anything there unless I click on sub, and then it'll allow me have your hours and value. So if I click on hours and value, well, I can select any fields available here, but in this case, I'm going to select hours and value for basic, and I'm going to select hours and value for my time and a half. And then my deductions, I have a sub menu, and I'm going to select value. But again, you have employer value and balances that are available, and the same for your AVC. Okay. So if we go to your hours, we can format these. So you can, again, rename these. So you could take out some of the field name if you don't want to see, make it a bit shorter. You can change the size of the field. So make that 10. And if you want a total, you can put on, change it to sum. You can count the amount of lines are on it. You can repeat the field. So in this case, we're going to sum to get a total at the end of each field. And we'll do the same for the value. And again, we can take out the end of the field name. Okay, and we'll do the same for time and a half. And we can sum these values. Okay, and if I go down to my new, I can click on formula, which will allow create a formula. So I can actually say I want to get a total of all my hours. So I can give it a field name. And I can show my available fields and select the fields I want to use. So in this case, it's just the 2. And I'm going to add them together. Nice simple formula. Click OK. And again, that's going to give me a total of all my hours that I'm on this report. So again, I can format that. I can put a sum on this report. So in this case, in this stage, I'm going to save my report. Okay, and I can change my file name if needs be. The file name will actually give you the report name, so I can change this. Okay, and again, I can save it. So if I want to preview my report at this stage, I can. So I can click on preview, and at this stage, as I said, because we put a filter on the report when we were designing it, it's asking me what I want to report on. So we put the filter on the field for pay period, and I can select what I want to report. So I'm going to say it's equal to, and I only want to see period 1. Okay, and that gives me a report for period 1. And as you can see, the field is going off the side, so you can format the page, or we can actually send this report to Excel. So if I close the screen again, I can put in an options to put in my headings, so I'll see them when I send the report to Excel. And click OK. And now if I populate that report in Excel, I can do for my pay period, and I can change my pay period here for period 1 and click OK. And that populates that report into Excel. Okay, so that's how you design a simple report. Again, you can put all kinds of formulas in there, fields, filters. You can sort it by different pay periods or employees, but a simple report in your advanced report writer. Okay, I'm going to hand you back over to Stephanie now.
Thank you, Sharon. Well, I don't think any manual process there could be as quick as what we have seen on those. So there's 3 ways to use that payroll data into your payroll or out of it. So just to recap, you can, if we pick up a clocking system file, we can post that directly into the payroll, which means we don't have to enter the timesheets. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, so the other thing was, so the data, the financial postings, if we call it, that come out of a payroll, we can create a file in a particular format and import it into an account system.
Yeah, that's right.
And in this case, we were using Sage 50, which, to be fair, they're both of the same Sage family, so you'd expect that to be there. And the second thing is we can take payroll data through the advanced report writer and take that data and produce wonderful different reports and integrate it into Excel.
Yeah,
okay. I appreciate that there's some setup that's always associated with this, but I think everybody should take advantage and just try and reduce some of that workload. So as I said, we weren't going to try and take up too much of your time this morning. We just wanted to ensure that people are aware of these features that are available. And I'd be happy to open the chat box if anybody's got any queries that we can either try and answer now, or that we can certainly come back with some follow-up answers. So, okay, there's one coming in there. What clocking systems? It's not a particular clocking system. We have partnered with, I think, is it Advanced Business Systems, is that correct?
Yes.
So that's one of them we have partnered with. If anybody's interested in that, we've got contact details. We can pass you over to that. But I'd be quite confident that once we get the file right, the clocking system gives us the file, we can import that. Right, there's somebody here that got micropay and Sage 50 already, so you're 3/4 of the way through the system. So roughly, we need some setup, obviously, when we try and utilize the nominal integration. So we have to create a file there just to get them specific for their needs.
Yes, we just need a list of journals, nominal codes, and then there's a bit of setting up to do in the payroll to create the file. But once that's set up,
it's a once-off, literally.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think that would be certainly worth a few hours looking at that. A or W, does anybody who has micropay have that?
Micropay Professional, Micropay Lite doesn't have to be on Micropay Professional.
Okay, well, if anybody is on Lite, there's another one coming there. Oh, let me have a look. There's a few come in there, just to jump past them. Field mapping is new to me. Can you recap? Or just send on after. Yeah, well, Niamh, we'll certainly follow up with you on that. We can give you some information. It might be easier for you because then you can refer back to it in your own time. Use you time point with your clocking systems. Are they compatible? Do you know time point?
Yes, I think they are. Again, they need to export the file in a report in a format for your either multi-timesheet import or a single line import, but we can send you the formats, and if you let them know, they will be able to then import.
They could use that to go back to time point.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And that'll be guides, and we can follow on and give you any help after that. How does the journal cope with an employee with a number of cost centers?
Well, this particular file that we're using is a multi-import. So you can import into multiple cost centers if you're using your multi-timesheet, which allows you employees saving hours who are split between different departments and cost centers. And again, I can give you more detail on that if needs.
Okay. Michael, there, you use A or W extensively. Well, great. It's an add-on to the base micropay. Well, thank you very much. But it requires certain drivers. Well, we'll certainly take that on board and make sure that we note that to anybody. I suppose for anybody who wants more information, this was a high level. I suppose we didn't want to get too technical with the setup there, but a good point, Michael. Thank you very much. Is there Anybody else I have missed? I think that's about it. Oh, sorry. Is the import facility available at all levels of the Sage 50 product?
Yes, it is. You can import on any of the Sage 50 products.
Right, well, that's some good news there for you, Eamon. Anybody else with some of the last questions? Okay, please feel free. I'm just going to, sorry, I should just let my contact details up there. So I'll leave the contact details. Please feel free if you've any further questions that you think of afterwards, if there's any information that you'd like us to follow up with and or any further details on it, please feel free to contact myself or Sharon on that. Once again, I very much appreciate you taking the time out this morning to attend the webinar, and hopefully we'll see you on another one, and I hope it was of benefit to you. Thank you very much.